a drive to left. That one is long gone.
With the podcast expanding more and more, and we're doing vlogs, we're doing a little bit of everything now, I thought it'd be good to talk about something that just happened yesterday, and that was the passing of Mikey Lolich, Tigers great at 85 years old. You know, not a lot of people know, but Mikey Lolich, you know, he meant a lot to me, kind of like a Willie Mays did to me. You know, growing up, I saw a lot of old clips. You know, I watched a lot of baseball. I mean, baseball has always been my game. You know, I mean, I love all sports, but baseball has always been number one. Clearly, right? I have a damn podcast about it, but there was always these pillars of the game that a lot of people have. You have Hank Aaron, you have Willie Mays, today's like Aaron Judge, Mike Trout, Shohei Ohtani, a lot of those. And, you know, I love Mookie Betts and things like that. But when I look back at the old times of the game, a big one to me has always been, of course, Willie Mays, but Mickey Lolich. I mean, Mickey Lolich, the passing of him, it sucks. I mean, he's older, so it's not that much of a surprise, right? I mean, a one-time World Series champion in the 68 Tigers, but what he did in the 68 series was pretty phenomenal, right? I mean, you're going against a guy, Bob Gibson, who's arguably at that time the greatest pitcher in baseball, and his counterpart is going to be Mickey Lolich, right? And just what Mickey Lolich was able to do in that World Series alone. He was the hero of the 1968 series. Everybody remembers that. And remember that year, Denny McClain was the guy, right? The 30-win pitcher of the Detroit Tigers, arguably a Cy Young award winner. He was the highlight, the headline of that rotation. And Mickey Lolich wasn't unknown at the time. I mean, Mickey Lolich was still a 1-2 punch within that rotation, but what he did in that 68 series was pretty damn phenomenal. I mean, the 68 series was, you know, at that time, while the Tigers were a powerhouse going into that World Series, Bob Gibson's St. Louis Cardinals, him and Tim Carver, and just Kurt Flood, I mean, they were pretty stacked. I mean, it was a stacked lineup. It was stacked rotation, and it was led by one of the best pitchers maybe of all time, right? And that was Bob Gibson. So the thing that not a lot of people really, you know, when you go into a lot of these World Series, there's heroes that emerge, right? You think of Kirk Gibson in the 88 World Series with the Dodgers. You think of Joe Carter's miraculous home run in with Toronto and their World Series win in the 90s. You think of Luis Gonzalez, right? Gonzo back in 01 with his game-winning single to bring in the winning run. I think it was Tony Womack for the Diamondbacks' first World Series win, only World Series win at this time against the powerhouse Yankees, who were coming off another World Series appearance, and it is amazing. But heroes emerge all the time. So we as people, we cling to those heroes. What made Mickey Lolich so great was he's the unassuming legend, the unassuming hero of the 68 series. And this, one of his best assets as a pitcher was he was able to go a lot long innings. I mean, he had the workhorse mentality, which pitchers lack today. 5-6 innings, they're getting yanked, right? You're nearing 100 pitches. I mean, people are getting sweaty. I mean, Tarek Skubal, one of the best pitchers in the game, won't go 8-9 innings. Paul Skeens, he won't go 8-9 innings. Those are, and we're not too far removed from those times, but Mickey Lolich, much like a lot of pitchers back then, they had the arm elasticity, right? The Bob Gibson elasticity of the arm, who just were able to keep going. I mean, there were pitchers that were pitching in extra innings that started the game. I mean, it happened all the time. But Mickey Lolich kind of took the team on his back, right? I mean, he won the 3 games he pitched in. He won a pivotal game, too, because they were coming back off of a first game loss, right, to the Cardinals in that series. And they were all complete games that Mickey Lolich pitched in this time frame. Game 2, Game 5, and obviously the pivotal Game 7. Obviously, he Mickey Lolich ended up earning MVP honors of that series, posted a 1.67 ERA, and he simply outdueled Bob Gibson, which was absolutely amazing, right? I mean, and to top it off, he hit a home run in game 2, which kind of catapulted that team. That gave them the momentum that they needed to pull it through. So, Mickey Lolich, to me, I never grew up in the 60s, right? I never grew up in the 70s. I was born in the 80s and grew up in the 80s and the 90s as a kid, and you cling to the heroes. I remember, Ken Griffey, Chipper Jones, loved Mickey Tettleton back then, loved Mickey Tettleton. Don Mattingly was one of my first idols growing up. John Flaherty, catcher for the Tigers. I mean, there were so many different iterations of my childhood. I remember where it was so many moments that I had. But I remember ESPN Sports Century was huge, right? And they'd always talk about moments. Well, in Sports Century, they talked about Denny McClain, and they were talking about the '68 Tigers, and they would talk about Mickey Lolich, and it wasn't a lot. I mean, once you get to the series, they talked about Mickey Lolich, but before then, not very often. And I kind of clung to Mickey Lolich as kind of a boyhood, now as an adult, kind of hero in those terms, just because he was the unassuming hero. It was the guy you wouldn't expect to take a team on his back and guide them through, right? I mean, this was arguably one of the best left-handed pitchers of the time, right? And he held the all-time MLB record for strikeouts by a left-hander, 2,832 upon his retirement in 1979. And today, I believe he still is in second place. He's second in that, which is pretty phenomenal. He holds numerous Tigers franchise records: 207 wins, career strikeouts of 2,679, career shutouts of 39. You'll probably won't see that much, or completed games, right? Career games started 459, and a single season strikeout record of 308, which he did in 1971. He was the master of durability, right? He led the American League in innings pitched, 376, batters faced 1538, and completed games 29 in 71. Selected to three All-Star games, and across 16 seasons with the Tigers, Mets, and Padres, he compiled a 217 and 191 record with a 3.44 ERA. Do I think he belongs in the Hall of Fame? No. I mean, he doesn't have the accolades you need to get in. He doesn't have that. Steve and I always harp on all the time with people who make it, and he doesn't also have the stats, right? But he has the stats to be a Detroit Tigers Hall of Famer. He got into the Michigan Hall of Fame, right? So that this is a guy that I think will go down as. Remember that old saying, heroes are remembered, but legends never die, from a great movie in the 90s, The Sandlot? That's Mickey Lolich. He's the epitome of that. He's not retired by the Tigers, but maybe one day he will be. Obviously, upon his death, that's, they might consider letting him in, just because what he meant to the franchise, just as an Alan Trammell, just as a Lou Whitaker to them, Willie Horton, what have you, Miguel in the future. But I mean, this is the guy that was the king of durability, and I think that's something that you just don't get nowadays. And at age 2, he rode this tricycle, Mickey Lolich, and he hit into a motorcycle, and then he fell off and broke his left collarbone, requiring him to wear like a cast for 4 months. So he felt that he kind of had like a Rookie of the Year effect. Remember the movie Rookie of the Year, where it strengthened his left arm and it helped him develop his throwing left-handed, right? Because he never grew up. He was more of like a ambidextrous kind of kid, but it kind of forced him to become a left-hander. And it made him stronger. And I think when you think of workhorse pitchers, obviously it's Mickey Lolich. Mickey Lolich means a lot to me. When you look at some of my books, The Sons of Summer, Mickey Lolich is, the lead character, the dad. I mean, he talks about what Mickey Lolich meant to him and how he considers heroes of the game to Mickey Lolich, because what he did in the '68 series. And it's those small moments in baseball history like that make you really realize and almost take for granted what some of these people, some of these players mean to us fans. So I'm rambling on about a great man, but he was he lived in Michigan, owned a donut shop. I mean, there was a nice piece that John Keating did with FanDuel Sports Detroit just the other day about Mickey Lolich, which during a Red Wing game, which a nice package that they did, really really nice. But yeah, it's guys like this that you just don't want to forget. So Mickey Lolich passes away the other day at 85 years old. Definitely will always remember him. I named my dog Mickey after him. A lot of people think that, oh, Mickey, you named your dog after Mickey Mantle, knowing that I love baseball. No, that's not true. It's actually Mickey Lolich. His middle name is Lolich. So Mickey Lolich Dault, right? I have dogs. I don't have kids, so bear with me here. But it was just off that. So Mickey Lolich, a great indeed, and a player today that just you wouldn't, it would be unassuming. A guy like that, there would be a place for him on a team, but they wouldn't pitch him a lot, right? People are so afraid to pitch pitchers past 5, 6 innings, 7. It's like, oh my God, Tarek Skubal in postseason last year was throwing 99, 100 miles an hour for his last pitches, and he took himself out. I mean, you don't, if you're paying pitchers 400, 5, 300, $400 million contracts, you want them, they want the ball in their hand like a Max Scherzer. You got to fight with them to get them off the mound. So Steve and I, we point that out all the time with pitchers. They're just not worth the money. But people like Mickey Lolich in today's world would be worth the money because they can go deep into innings and not lose, not skip a beat. So Mickey Lolich, we'll miss you, man. My hat's off to you. And I'll always definitely remember you. Definitely a legend.